You okay?
I'm great. How are you?
It looks like you haven't slept in a week.
I think I've got it. The pick and roll. It's the Pythagorean theorem in reverse. You're a genius.
In the final game
What
of the
is
Lakers
this?
2022.
All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I wanted to check out this video here. The title is How a Podcaster Became the Lakers Head Coach. This is from a channel called Woo Hoops, and they've got about 10,000 subscribers at this point. And I watched the first 30 seconds of this or so, and it seemed pretty well made. So I thought I'd highlight this one. Is an interesting topic anyways. So in case you haven't figured out, this is going to be a video about JJ, I don't want to say Barrera, JJ Redick becoming the head coach of the Lakers. And we all know that was kind of a wild situation on how it happened. And a lot of us were predicting exactly what was going to happen, that he was doing a podcast with LeBron just as like a job interview, basically, to become LeBron's next head coach. And lo and behold, it all played out exactly how we thought. Not that I don't believe JJ should be a coach, but he did get to skip all the steps to becoming a head coach in the NBA. I believe the only coaching experience he had before this was in middle school, coaching his son's team. I believe that's what it is. But if I'm wrong, I'm sure I'll be corrected in this video. So my stance has always been that it's not that I doubt he's got the basketball brain to get the job done. I think he actually probably does. When I hear him talk, he's actually pretty smart when he's not like licking LeBron's nuts. But when he's just talking about basketball and breaking stuff down, he's got the basketball brain. So yeah, I do believe he could be a good head coach, but I just don't like the fact that he's got to skip all these steps. He didn't have to coach in high school or college or be an assistant coach in the NBA. Just bam, head coach for the Lakers. But anyways, I'm going to link the original video down below. So when it comes to a smaller channel like this, I highly encourage everybody, if you do enjoy the video, you know, go check out the original source. We could kind of explode a YouTube channel just by sending a wave over there. But that's up to you guys. The link is down below if you guys want to check out the channel. Everybody, please leave a like to this video. I'd appreciate it a lot. It helps my channel out a ton. And without further ado, let's get into this.
On June 20th, 2024, JJ Redick was hired as the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. To call this move controversial will be greatly underselling the situation. But how did this come to be? How did someone with zero coaching experience get one of the most prestigious coaching jobs in the league? What if I told you that this is a saga decades in the making? A story of self-fulfillment, a story of modern NBA media, and most importantly, a story you have to see to believe. To begin, we must go all the way back to 2003.
It's all about the GM.
In 2003, an up-and-coming sports journalist by the name of Adrian Wojnarowski, or better known today as Woj, embarked on a journey to write a book about legendary St. Anthony High School basketball coach Bob Hurley as he navigated.
By the way, quick side note. Do I remember correctly? Woj stepped down and is now a GM for a college team. I think like a college basketball team or something. Let me know if I'm tripping, but I think Woj is a GM now.
One of the most turbulent years in school history. Despite Coach Hurley being offered countless college jobs for more money, he has always chosen to stay at St. Anthony. This, to Hurley, was his calling. In addition, Woj would also deep dive into the complex family relationship of Hurley's two sons, Dan Hurley and Bobby Hurley.
Yeah, I remember
This
Bobby.
experience would lead to Woj's first book, titled The Miracle of St. Anthony, released in 2005. This book was critically acclaimed upon release. I'm just going to read you a review of it. It takes two ingredients to make a book special: a great story and great storyteller. The Miracle of St. Anthony has both. Bob Hurley is a remarkable coach. Adrian Wojnarowski is his equal as a writer. At the exact same time, at the college level, JJ Redick and Duke dominated the discourse.
Redick from way outside. Are you kidding? That even made him smile.
He was an asshole at Duke. Just gonna be real. At least he even admits it now. He was like, "Yeah, I was a real prick back then." He was so full of himself.
See, earlier that season, Coach K turned down a $40 million deal to join the Los Angeles Lakers.
Guys, you remember this? Kobe did want Coach K to come out there. He couldn't have Phil anymore. That would have been nuts too.
Before leading Duke to winning the ACC championship and Redick being named MVP.
It's really special. I think this win means as much to me as any win that I've ever had in my life.
When discussing JJ Redick's time at Duke, you have to keep in mind that Redick was arguably the most hated player in college basketball since Christian Laettner.
He was
in
good,
a piece defending JJ Redick, Bomani Jones pleads with fans to separate the player from the team and to not let hatred for Duke blind you from witnessing greatness, like he once did with another player, Bobby Hurley, the son of Coach Bob Hurley. In the article, Jones even referenced Woj's book. In the years to come, Woj would be on a meteoric rise, not as an author, but as a newsbreaker, known more for the meme of the Woj bomb than the critically acclaimed author he once was. Yet Woj never let his past leave his sight, with posters of his book often visible alongside him. In an interview where Woj was asked if writing a column or breaking a scoop is more exciting, Woj answered,
"It's a good question. I would add a third one to it. The book I did, The Miracle of St. Anthony, for me was I really was proud of."
And in a blink of an eye, it's 2016. Woj, currently working at Yahoo Sports, wanted to pitch the idea of starting a podcast to an active NBA player. The player he chose? None other than JJ Redick.
I said to him, we're starting this site alongside Yahoo, The Vertical. You want to write some stories during the season about like being a player, trade deadline, what that's like? And he's like, that'll feel like homework. And I'd be worried about it. I'm not doing that. So I get it. And I was like, how about a podcast?
Redick accepted Woj's offer and became the first active NBA player with a podcast.
Wow.
Redick, as he nears the end of his NBA playing career, is often seen on his podcast, struggling coming to terms with the mortality of his NBA career.
As I get towards the end of my career, I don't like fame, but I like relevancy. And when you become irrelevant, I don't know, is that scary? I think it might be.
Redick would continue this duality of being both an NBA player and a podcaster until his retirement in 2021, where he would soon after sign a deal with ESPN to become a studio analyst. During his time on ESPN, Redick develops his reputation as someone who often pushes back against traditional hot take culture.
I know. You know what? I was a fan of Redick's podcast before he signed up and joined ESPN, because that's when everyone falls off. You join Disney and then you can't be yourself anymore. And he took a lot of heat in the beginning when he was in ESPN because he would just speak his mind. And it was hard to watch. I did appreciate his original podcast though. That was actually pretty cool.
But all of a sudden in every sport, players continue to get better, but for some reason in the NBA,
I need to chime in.
Players in the last 15 years, we're just not good enough.
Hold on, time out. Let me chime in.
Product.
And also, as an X's and O's basketball sicko, playfully demonstrated in this commercial.
You okay?
I'm great. How are you?
It looks like you haven't slept in a week.
I think I've got it. The pick and roll. It's the Pythagorean theorem in reverse. You're a genius.
In the final game
What
of the
is
Lakers'
this?
2022 NBA season, Adrian Wojnarowski reports that the Lakers have fired their head coach Frank Vogel while he was still on the floor.
My reaction is I haven't been told.
Redick himself would express that the Lakers' job is not a good one.
Until they start building their team like every other team in the NBA does in modern NBA, I don't think this is a good job.
In the 2023
It's true.
offseason,
And they did build a team. By 2020, they had a solid team, a solid future. And in 2021, they blew it all up for a win now mentality. I agree with his take on that.
ESPN decided to make some radical changes to their announcing team lineup, firing the duo of Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy on their A team after 17 years on the call.
Yeah, that's criminal, by the way. These two were a great duo, man. Shout out to Jeff Van Gundy. I see he's an assistant coach right now, so congratulations on that. But I loved these two calling games together. They were hilarious.
And replacing them with Doris Burke and the newly signed Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
JJ Redick, being the beneficiary of this change, was promoted to being the color commentator of ESPN's B Team. One of the first games JJ Redick ever called in the NBA was Nuggets versus Lakers. And in an ironic and foreshadowing moment, just listen to this.
Richard, we almost had a two-man booth tonight because some of the Lakers were tempting JJ to put on a jersey to help with that three-point shooting.
Well, I didn't think about it until Darvin Ham offered me a 10-day to play tonight.
That season, the Lakers would make it to the Western Conference Finals before being eliminated.
Did you guys catch that? So Darvin Ham actually offered him a 10-day deal. What the hell?
By the Nuggets. The following season, on January 4th, Lakers head coach Darvin Ham was put on the hot seat by his players for his extreme rotations and lack of accountability. A few weeks later, an NBA coach was fired, but not Darvin Ham, Adrian Griffin of the Milwaukee Bucks. What made this even more controversial was that Griffin's replacement was none other than Doc Rivers, who was the unofficial consultant for the Milwaukee Bucks.
But then you hire somebody that's a consultant and then comes in and takes the job.
Yeah,
Don't you think that that's a little...
And also, like we mentioned earlier, working at the time for ESPN. With Doc leaving ESPN, the A-Team's commentator role was empty almost as quickly as it had been filled. ESPN then chose JJ Redick as Rivers' replacement. And I think it's also important to keep in mind that while JJ Redick is ascending the ranks of ESPN, on the side, he was still continuing his personal podcast. And in April 2024, he sent a personal congratulations to Dan Hurley for winning his second consecutive NCAA championship.
He has one of the most fascinating coaching backgrounds because of his father, Bob Hurley Sr.
And he specifically shouted out one particular book.
Real quick, Woj wrote a book maybe 15, 17 years ago called The Miracle at St. Anthony. It is about Bob Hurley and his family and the school and all of the challenges that the school and the basketball team face. It is one of my favorite books of all time.
Adrian Wojnarowski was very happy at the reference.
Hey, real quick, did any of you know that Woj was a writer before he was doing his gig with Yahoo and ESPN and all that? And now, like I said, I think he's a GM. I had no idea he was a writer, though. It's very interesting.
He posted the clip on his personal Instagram. As if the good news aren't coming quickly enough for JJ Redick, on March 18th, it was announced that his production company would be producing a podcast series featuring Redick and LeBron James.
This is the point where I started really... I mean, it happened earlier when he made the plumbers comment, but this is where I really, really learned that JJ is a sellout. And I was disappointed. I really was. But yeah, he completely sold out at this point. But it totally makes sense. If you think about what we just witnessed over the course of a couple of minutes, how he just got to ESPN, and then he climbed all the way up the ladder within about a year. He went in saying his goal is to call an NBA Finals game, and then he did it that fast. There are people who would work for the company for 10 years and never accomplish that, but he did it so fast. Accomplished everything he wanted in ESPN. Boom. Next, head coach. And then it like a snap of the finger again. He goes all the way to the top of the mountain. It's that whole, like, he's not climbing these mountains. He's taking a helicopter to the top. And that's why I realized, like, I'm not a big fan of this dude. Once again, those are my personal feelings, though. Do I think he can be a good head coach? Yes, I do. I can separate that from my feelings.
To take listeners on a deep dive of X's and O's discourse away from the typical hot takes culture of basketball.
We were both on the same page. We were both on the same page, which I love.
This was a podcast that was supposedly years in the making. After doing some digging myself, I'm proud to say that I feel I've found the exact genesis of Minding the Game. This May 22nd, 2022 Twitter interaction possibly was it. On May 3rd,
I do want to. All right. JJ, this is in April 22nd, 2022. Says, thank you, legend. Not sure what the context is. LeBron replies, love hearing JJ Redick on the game. Smart, insightful dude, and low-key, high-key funny. All right, so he was probably announcing the game. And then LeBron, let's see. Have you heard? Wait. Heard you have one damn good podcast too. May have to jump on with you sometime soon. Oh, I get it. So that was the source. That's your replies. That probably is the genesis.
2022 Twitter interaction possibly was it. On May 3rd, 2024, Darvin Ham was fired by the Los Angeles Lakers. In an article by Shams Charania, he reports the names James Borrego, Sam Cassell, and JJ Redick as the early top targets for Lakers coaching job. Shams also reports that former Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski, who had turned down the Lakers job 20 years prior, would be advising the Lakers on their search. While the name JJ Redick shocked many, it didn't shock Woj.
I did not, dude. That is a crucial piece he just skimmed through. Coach K, how did he word it?
Search. While the name the Lakers job 20 years prior would be advising the Lakers.
He's an advisor. So Coach K is advising the Lakers on their head coach hunt. And guess who was JJ's coach at Duke? Obviously, Coach K. And they still have a relationship to this day. In fact, I've seen Coach K on JJ's old podcast. And, you know, Coach K doesn't fuck around, which is really cool. So he was talking about, like, JJ's lows at Duke and how he was pissing everybody off. And, you know, he basically hit a threshold of, like, either straighten up or get the hell off the team. And JJ straightened up. So they've had a good relationship since. And, yeah, JJ sees Coach K as kind of a mentor. I had no idea Coach K was involved in this, but that makes some sense, too, if he was involved. It does.
On their search. While the name JJ Redick shocked many, it didn't shock Woj.
He's so talented. He could do whatever he wants. But there's no question there's an interest on the Lakers' part.
And now we have entered the climax of the story, the 3-day stretch that shapes the entire saga. On June 4th, 2024, Shams Charania reports for The Athletic that
the Lakers have been zeroing in on JJ Redick as a front runner for the job.
But for Redick to become the Lakers' next head coach, there was one final hurdle to get over. Remember earlier when I mentioned that JJ Redick replaced Doc Rivers on ESPN's lead broadcast team? Well, that comes with more responsibilities, including calling the NBA Finals. And while the Lakers themselves wanted to expedite the process, Redick was firm on his stance.
My focus right now is on calling the NBA Finals. My day-to-day right now is consumed with calling games, the 19 different podcasts I feel like I have, my obligations to all of our partners. So my focus is on the NBA Finals. I will say that.
The day after that was June 6th, 2024, Game 1 of the NBA Finals, where the day got turned upside down when Woj dropped this news bomb.
The Los Angeles Lakers are preparing a massive long-term offer for Connecticut Huskies coach Dan Hurley to become the next Lakers coach. He is the target of their search. He's been the target of the Lakers search since the beginning. The sides have had preliminary
I remember calling this one out total smokescreen, because this was just a front. This was trying to make it not look like JJ was the first pick and that this was all prearranged. So they did this, and then right afterwards, guess what? just like I don't want to just say I predicted. I want to say we predicted, because if you read the comments, y'all were on the exact same page as me. This was a front, and the real guy was JJ, and it didn't take long. Right after this, there was nobody else. It was all JJ, and they brought him in.
Let's listen to that again.
He's been the target of the Lakers search since the beginning.
Now notice the wording here. Woj is claiming that Dan Hurley was the Lakers' top choice from the beginning, something that no other journalist, including Shams Charania, had reported. Now, what muddled this situation even further was that Woj is a personal friend of the Hurley family, and while Dan Hurley is in a contract negotiation with UConn, he becomes the Lakers' top choice. Something doesn't quite add up here. Now that we get these 3 days out the way, let's take a step back and look at the absurdity of this situation. The Lakers are currently looking to hire a big-named college coach who's a close friend of the journalist who controversially broke this news, who gave their other league candidate the start in the media industry, who was coached by the other big-name college coach, who is currently your consultant to find your next coach, a job that he himself has turned down 20 years prior.
Hold up. Great video. You're a subscriber. This is awesome. This is well done. There's so much here that I didn't know.
Now, regardless of intent, the authenticity of the chase is certainly real, as the Lakers flew out both Dan Hurley and his wife Andrea Hurley to Los Angeles for a meeting.
They sent their plane. They literally attention to detail. Like, they made us really feel like welcomed, and that they wanted to be a part of our family, and they wanted us a part of their family.
But once the Hurleys returned to Connecticut, they've made their decision.
And it was like after midnight, we were going to bed, and I'm brushing my teeth crying because I'm like so stuck. And he says, okay, on the count of 3, we're gonna text each other in our hearts what we wanna do right now. So I'm like, right now. So we both said 1, 2, 3, and we hit send, and we both said stay.
On June 10th,
good call.
Dan Hurley officially turns down the Lakers' offer of 4 years, $70 million to remain with the UConn Huskies. And you can imagine how Shams Charania must feel about that situation.
And he was not the #1 candidate.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the display won't go away on the bottom.
#1 guy to go pursue from the start, from the beginning. My sources have said that JJ Redick has been the front runner for this job. It does beg the question around the league. Was there genuine interest? Was this a genuine process with this? Or was this simply just about leverage? So when you think
Hurley himself, however, denied the accusations that this was a leverage play.
That this was not a great time for me, to mess around or to go for a leverage play. I already had the leverage.
10 days after that, JJ Redick was hired as the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Dan Hurley is a 2-time national champion at UConn. I am a 2-time 55 Swiss League champion in the 3rd and 4th grade division. Like, I understood, I understood.
On June 24th, at Redick's press conference, he reveals that he will be quitting all his media duties and focus solely on the Lakers coaching job.
I am excommunicated from the content space, so I'm done with podcasting for now.
And after almost a decade of nonstop news breaking, on September 18th, 2024, Adrian Wojnarowski retires from news breaking and joins St. Bonaventure as their GM. Arguably the most creative control he will have since writing that famous book 20 years prior.
I've been doing this a long time, probably less satisfying, less fulfilling than it had felt. And the idea to move over to Bonaventure, the timing just seemed right.
With the Lakers entering the following season with historically low expectations, it's interesting to see how JJ Redick will fare out as a head coach. How will he do? I have no idea. But I do know the sense of fulfillment Redick was craving for in his post-playing career is finally within reach. Like Woj, like Dan Hurley, like Krzyzewski, like Bob Hurley, Redick has finally found his calling. And to the rest of us all who are still searching, may we find it too. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. My name is Danny Wu. If you enjoyed, please consider hitting the subscribe button. In my last video, I asked if you guys would get me to 1,000 subscribers, and you guys got me to 8,000. So that was really surreal. In the previous month, I've had my most busy month ever as a filmmaker. My film was screened at a presidential library, and I was a guest lecturer at UC Irvine, while the YouTube channel is kind of growing exponentially.
Nice.
And so thank you guys so much again. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you subscribe to this channel, I will keep doing my part in putting out more video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.
Nice, dude. Danny Wu. Good vid. Yeah, I'm now a subscriber. I'm curious what you're going to come up with in the future. yeah, guys, I mean, let's blow this video up if you enjoyed it. I know a lot of us are not JJ Redick fans, but as far as like the quality of the content here, I thought Danny did a great job. That was a fantastic video. He had a cool angle on the whole thing, and I learned a ton. And I can't ask for much more. So, Danny, I will be looking forward to more videos from you in the future. Well done. And I hope this reaction, if anything, drives a little more traffic towards you. And yeah. Anyways, everybody, what'd you guys think? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you learn something? Oh, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, there was a lot of stuff I learned. I wasn't expecting Woj to have anything to do with any of this. But it was interesting to see how tied in he was. And totally interesting for me to see that Coach K was involved in the hiring of JJ. I had no idea. I feel like I was covering that story a lot too. So did you guys know about that? Was it just me who missed out on that? I don't know how that one flew over my head. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching as always. You know I appreciate you. I love doing this with you guys, and I love getting into the comments section every single day with you guys and having a chat. I feel like I've known some of you for years at this point. It's a really cool community. I love this channel. I love doing what I'm doing. So thank you for making it possible. Yeah, go enjoy your day. All right, go enjoy the rest of your day. I will talk to you all later. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you want more. I'll see you soon. Peace out, everybody.